Another local lawmaker who was in the thick of it as the chaos unfolded is Congresswoman Sara Jacobs, San Diego's newly elected representative who was sworn in just days ago. Congresswoman Jacobs joining us live right now. First of all, we want to say we are so glad to see that you're safe, and thank you for joining us.
Of course, glad to be here with you.
What was going through your mind as this was happening?
So I was in the House chamber. I was sitting in the gallery, and we started hearing Capitol Police running behind us. We had to hide under our chairs, put our evacuation hoods on, and then climb over chairs and guardrails to get ourselves out. And it was really, really scary. I've been in post-conflict situations before. My background is working in conflict resolution and transitions from military coups, and that's probably the scariest I've ever been for my life.
Now, you wrote an opinion piece for the paper saying that you stand with Speaker Pelosi as well as Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and their calls for the invocation of the 25th Amendment or impeachment. Can you talk a little bit more about what you personally as a representative are doing with regard to that?
That's right. As I mentioned, my background is in working in transitions from military coups, and one of the most important things we need to do is hold accountable anyone who committed, incited, or encouraged any of that violence and really the treasonous behavior to try and overthrow an elected government. So I'm working with my colleagues, supporting their efforts to file articles of impeachment and encouraging the vice president and members of the cabinet to uphold their constitutional duty, to uphold their oath to protect and defend the Constitution and invoke the 25th Amendment.
And talk about your concerns if that doesn't happen with the 13 days left of this administration.
We will be getting a new president on January 20th, and I'm very grateful for that. But I think that it's very important that anyone who was at all involved in the activities of yesterday is held accountable to the highest level so that everybody knows that this is unacceptable and that this never happens again.
How concerned are you about security? There have been a lot of calls for investigation as to how the large group of people could even get into that building in the first place.
We absolutely need an investigation. The protesters should never have been able to get into the Capitol complex, let alone into the Capitol and that close to the House floor and the Senate floor. I also think we need an investigation into why the force posture was so different yesterday than it was over the summer towards peaceful protesters in the Capitol.
And we talked during the break for just a moment, but you explained about your family. And I know that anyone out there, you know, when you think about a situation like this, family members on the other side of the country must have been worried sick about you.
They were. I was evacuating, running. I was wearing high heels and trying to text them to make sure they knew that I was okay. I used to spend time in far-flung places around the world, and they were always concerned about my safety. And I don't think they ever imagined that the House floor would actually be the place where they were most concerned about me getting out alive.
Now, can you talk about what it's like there today? Obviously, there's still damage to the building, and they're looking right now at some of the leadership, the offices that were kind of ransacked, and there was damage in there as well. Has it been everyone trying to get back to business as usual, or is the mood very different?
Last night we felt like it was very important to reconvene and resume our constitutional duties. I went back to the House floor in the evening because it felt important for me personally to show that I could go back after what happened. And at around 4:30 a.m., we officially certified President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. But it was really difficult to go there. We saw glass broken everywhere. Many of the glass panes were broken in as you're showing this speaker's office and other leadership offices were completely ransacked. There was trash everywhere, a lot of statues and other things that were desecrated. It's really sad to see in that hallowed hall of democracy, in what's supposed to be the people's house, the first branch of government, that something like this was able to happen and was encouraged by the President of the United States.
Representative Sara Jacobs, thank you so much for talking about what you experienced, and we're really glad that you're okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.